This is the way Easter looks on the most famous street in the world. This is fabulous Fifth Avenue in New York City. And you're looking at the Easter parade from a specially placed camera at the corner of 55th Street and Fifth Avenue. It's all live, no film, the people, even the flowers set out in the boxes on the street. Willoughby's, New York's oldest and largest camera store, invites you to spend the next 90 minutes of this very special afternoon at an invitational brunch being held in the ballroom of the Gotham Hotel right here on Fifth Avenue. There'll be something for everyone, and from time to time we'll rejoin the paraders here on the avenue. But right now, let's go into the ballroom and meet your host, distinguished radio and television commentator Arthur Van Horn.
Happy Easter, everybody. We're glad you could join us here in the ballroom of the Gotham Hotel, where we have representatives of all of New York's newspapers on hand to cover the Easter 58 story. We've taken all the faces, the component parts of Easter: fashions, food, celebrities, children, flowers, music, and of course the reason for its being, religion. All of these things, and our columnists will be examining all of them. Bob Dana of the World Telegram and Sun, who has been reporting on food in New York for many years. He'll have a new Easter dish prepared for you. Eugenia Shepard, the Herald Tribune's fashion editor, has a mammoth fashion show planned. The Daily Mirror's entertainment editor, Frank Quinn, will cover the music hall's traditional Easter pageant. Frank Quinn will have some important guests. Then Meyer Berger, roving correspondent for the New York Times, will take you for a 50-year stroll on famous Fifth Avenue. Columnist Robert Sylvester of the Daily News has a preview of an important jazz event. And Leonard Coppett of the sports department of the New York Post will delve into another story of the day. All of this in just 1 minute. Then Easter 58.
Willoughby's, the world's largest camera store in the heart of America's greatest shopping center, is proud to bring you Easter 58. For over 60 years, Willoughby's has served generations of discriminating photo buyers. This is the most complete camera store that features the world's largest selection of photographic equipment. Whether you're buying your first camera, whether you're a serious amateur or a professional photographer, you'll find what you need in this world-famous block-long store with 8 floors devoted exclusively to photography and tape recorders. Known as the Square Deal Store, Willoughby's sells the best, offers the finest service and guarantees, yet sells at the lowest prices anywhere. Visit Willoughby's at their one and only location at West 32nd Street for a thrilling shopping experience. Their 90 or more salesmen are experts. Whether you make a purchase or seek advice, you'll receive the same patient, courteous service. Make Willoughby's at West 32nd Street in New York City your headquarters for everything photographic. Learn why millions say, "I'd much rather deal with Willoughby's."
The first of the familiar faces belongs to Phyllis Battelle, the International News Service correspondent whose column called Assignment America appears in the New York Journal American. Hello, Phyllis.
Hello, Art. Happy Easter, everybody. Isn't it delightful to be inside, where you can sort of stay out of the rain and nurse the corns and calluses that you developed yesterday getting your Easter clothes?
You're a regular little Pollyanna today, aren't you, dear?
Oh, Easter's a happy day regardless of the weather.
Well, I don't suppose you've thought of all those women sitting inside when they should be outside watering their hats.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Out, women, out. You have a responsibility to your milliner.
By the way, dear, you look pretty irresponsible yourself, fashion-wise, that is.
You mean no chemise?
Yeah.
Well, Mrs. Eisenhower and I, you don't mind a little name dropping here.
How can I help it?
We don't approve of it. Yes. We want our waistlines to be where our waistlines are.
Yeah, but at a fashionable function like this, where there's a big do, a fine brunch and everything, seems to me you would want to be
Even
right
more
with it.
important is when there's a brunch, because with your belt around your hips, how do you know when you've eaten enough?
I see what you mean. Perhaps you could show us what you mean with some girls who have the belt around the hips.
Yes, let me show you. We'll have a preview, not of 58 fashions, but of fashions of the 20s. These are not our current fashions, you know.
Not the current ones.
No, these are three girls from a wonderful, wacky show called The Boyfriend, which is playing at the downtown theater. The main reason they know when they've had enough to eat is that they eat only lettuce. Their names are Jerry Anna Raphael, June Squibb, and Michelle Burke. And they were nice enough to drop by on their way to the matinee to give us a look at the world of yesterday, which suddenly, thanks to Paris, is the world of today. Creepy, isn't it?
It is creepy indeed. It's a little too creepy. Fashions of yesterday are the fashions of today, it seems to me. But Phyllis, we have so many guests here whom I'm sure the people at home would like to meet. It would be unfair to them if they didn't. So let's just do that. Talk to some of the many celebrities who are here at the Gotham Hotel. First of all, I see Hildegard here at an adjoining table. If you'll excuse me, I'll join her. Hello, Hildegard.
Hello, Arthur. Happy to see you.
Thank you so much. And what a lovely hat.
Now, you know, I'm so glad you suggested it. May I give a plug to whoever designed it?
I don't see
Are
how
you
I can
allowed
help
to do
it.
that?
We try to keep those things secret.
Oh, I never do. I like to tell the world where my things come from.
All right.
Like the hat?
No, go right ahead.
Thank you. Well, the hat is by Walter Florell, and the suit is by Samuel Lang. And the shoe, well, we won't go any further.
All right. I think that's enough, because we'd like to keep Easter in a fairly non-commercial way. We
Yes,
want to
I can
observe
understand
Easter as
that.
it is meant to be. And yet, anywhere on Fifth Avenue, there is some commercialism, because Fifth Avenue is the scene of all the great churches of worship. It's also the scene where people buy the fine finery, and it's the scene of the Easter parade, which today was called on account of rain, it appears. But also Fifth Avenue, Hildegard, is the place where you've enjoyed your greatest triumphs. The Savoy Plaza, the Hotel
Yes.
Pierre,
And
the
the
Persian,
Plaza,
room,
yes.
Persian room of the Plaza. Now, we've missed you on Fifth Avenue. Why have you been away so long?
Well, my dear, I've been traveling, you see. I've been just on the go from coast to coast in Mexico and Havana and all over the place. And I miss New York and Fifth Avenue, yes. I was 3 years ago at the Pierre, though. I hope I can go back again this coming fall.
Well, what are your plans for the fall? It seems to me I've heard word that you are planning a musical production.
Yes, I'm very excited about it. I'm going to be in my first Broadway show called Packaged in Paris, which I think is a delightful title, don't you?
What does it mean?
Packaged in Paris is all about the perfume business.
Ah.
And, it's got a very interesting plot, and the music is by Harry Ravel, which is magnificent music, and the book by George Marion Jr., and produced by Paul Laval, and I play the part of a princess in it, an Italian princess. Because I married a prince, you know, that's why.
Sounds very
It's
exciting.
really charming, very light, very gay, and clean, and very elegant.
Good. And when can we look forward to seeing that?
Well, we start rehearsals with the cast next week, and so that would be about a month from now, and then we open out of town in Philadelphia or New Haven, and into New York by maybe the middle of June.
Hildegard, you're just such a wonderful entertainer, and we love you so much on Fifth Avenue. But looking back through your career, it seems to me that for a long time you kept the fact that you came from Milwaukee a secret.
I never did. I've always been proud
didn't?
of that. How dare you?
No, it seemed
Jack
to me...
Benny's proud of Waukegan, I'm proud of Milwaukee.
I know that you're the deer that made Milwaukee famous.
Yes, now
That's
it's
what I
rooting
hear.
for the Braves, too, believe me. No, I've always said I'm from Milwaukee. As a matter of fact, my first press agent gave me a wonderful title called The Deer That Made Milwaukee Famous.
I think it's wonderful.
Plus being, and also making it incomparable. So please don't say that. I love Milwaukee.
All right, and one other question I'd like to ask you, though, is about Irving Berlin's song Easter Parade, which you've sung many times. This is the 25th anniversary of Easter Parade. And didn't you once work for Irving Berlin's music publishing firm?
I did.
And what did you do?
When I first came to New York, trying to get to have a career for myself, and I had a terrible disappointment at the time, and I got a job at Irving Berlin's to plug songs. They're $17.50 a week. But I'm proud of that because I learned how to transpose and how to, sing songs, and as a matter of fact, that's where I first got the idea to use my voice for show business. You know that? They discovered me more or less, the voice.
Well, you discovered a lot of things about how to entertain people, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you back on Broadway and back on Fifth Avenue,
Thank
Hildegard.
you, Arthur. I hope
Thank you so
too.
much.
Bless you. Goodbye.
You know, when you think of Easter food, you think of colored eggs and jelly beans and a good succulent ham. But Bob Dana Bob Dana over there has been sampling food in all of New York's best restaurants. Now, Bob, what do you think of for an Easter menu?
Well, Arthur, I've been discussing this matter with the Gotham Hotel's master chef, Mr. Paul Franzetti. Mr. Franzetti is a souffle as hard to make as many of us think it is. Not at all. Some of your basic ingredients, correct? What are the ingredients?
Well, it's there's a pint and a half of milk, 4 ounces of sugar, 4 ounces of flour, 4 ounces of butter, a quarter teaspoon of salt.
But you don't put it all in at one time.
Bring the milk to a boil first, then you add with the butter and the salt, then you add the flour and keep on stirring until it's smooth. Then you remove it from the fire and adding 1 egg yolk at a time and keep on stirring until it's very smooth.
What's this over here?
But this is the white egg. This is the 6 eggs separate that it's supposed to get in, you see?
Is this a special utensil you have to use for that?
Not exactly special, but it's got to be very clean and free from any trace of fat in order that the white should come up correct.
And how long does it take to
Takes about
prepare
2
the
minutes.
white of egg?
Just about
2 minutes. Good. What is this over here?
Well, that's a grated orange to give him the flavor.
That's what gives it the real flavor.
That is correct.
Well, what do you say we sort of put this all together now,
Well,
Chef?
that's very easy. You see this this mixture here? Just put it little at a time inside there with the white eggs. And keep on stirring.
Just a little bit at a time.
That is correct, see?
That doesn't look very hard.
No, not at all. Providing you're following the instruction correct, anybody can do it. Home, it's very easy.
I see. And this recipe is for 6 people.
That is correct.
Well, that's fine. Now, Chef, how long is this going to take to cook?
Takes about between 35 and 40 minutes.
35 and 40 minutes.
That is correct. Here is a
And
silver bowl. It's already
the bowl to put
buttered
it in.
and sugared all around. And this is the orange flavor that gets in. The last
And when it
minute.
comes out, it has to be served as quickly as possible, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Otherwise, it's just a flop.
Why is that?
Well, because it's so tender in the end. So
I see,
flaky.
and
You know what
the
I
air
mean?
hits it.
That's
Well,
right.
Chef, suppose you go down. We'll be looking forward to
That's right.
seeing the finished product in
That
a few
is-
minutes. Right now, what do you say we return to Phyllis Patel and
That's right.
Easter 58?
Thanks, Bob and Chef Franzetti. We'll save the oohs and ahs for later because I'm sure it deserves it.